Hi Graham, thanks for being with us this morning. How would you define the Milne agribusiness brand?
Well, it's more than one thing, but at its central core is animal welfare, developing animal feeding systems and growing systems which meet the modern consumer's expectations with respect to animal welfare.
So what are the key sub-brands within the group?
Well, Mount Barker Chicken, of course, is probably the best known. That's a free-range production system which enables us to ensure that chickens have their natural life and are wholesome. And as a result, we think much less stress in the production system for the animals, and as a consequence, better quality and healthier meat.
You've also got a pork business, aren't you?
Yes, we've got Plantagenet pork. We were the pioneers in free-range pork in Western Australia, and we've developed that up now to a supermarket range, and that's growing and developing. And we've also got free-range turkey under development as well.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. And this is essentially the positioning of each of these businesses, is it? That they're free-range, they're well cared for?
Yes, good quality animal welfare systems. I mean, I'd probably be the only person that gets a report which says lost to foxes, because it is one of the issues that we have to watch out for. We have to watch out for predators. Yeah. So it isn't all a bed of roses as far as free-range is concerned. There's issues that we have to manage, but fundamentally it's a natural lifestyle for each of these animals.
And I'm assuming that in addition to being better for the animals, it's actually better for the product.
We think so. I mean, we've had independent research done which compared meat produced using free-range methods with intensive methods, and 75% of consumers could pick the difference.
What is the overall ethos, and how would you describe the culture in the Milne Group?
It's committed to animal welfare. I mean, there's a competition that goes on between our growers to look for ways of enriching the animals' lives. Our farmers develop things like wigwams so that the chickens have some shade on the hot days, special types of roosting arrangements and things of this nature. So at the moment we've got some tree farming going on, and that apparently is taking the chickens and putting them in a forest and seeing how they react to that environment. And
I get a sense that for you this is wasn't just a commercial epiphany. It was it's something you wanted to do.
Yes, no, I like animals and I like wholesome meat, and so it's to some extent feeding my own personal desires with when we developed the company back 10 years ago.
And to an extent, it's a reflection of your brand. I mean, who you are.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a reflection of all the people in the company. I mean, everybody signs on for this sort of animal welfare commitment.
How has your approach to marketing and communication changed over the last few years, particularly in the light of the changing communication landscape?
It's hard to cut through and for people to believe what you're saying to them. So it's important to walk the talk. Yeah. The environment's changed now. What used to be word of mouth is now viral in the sense that there's YouTube and all of these other social networking sites which can quite easily discredit you. So it's very important that the company is completely branded, if you can follow my meaning. It's not just a question of what we say in an advertisement. It actually goes right the way back to everybody in the company and on the farms. So that's the important thing for us, to have integrity, and to some extent the product sells itself. Once people taste it, we generally don't have a problem.
Yeah, actually the literature suggests certainly that if you take that sustainable position or ethical positioning, then it actually puts a bigger burden on you than somebody who didn't. You know, you run a bigger risk.
Yeah, I think it's hard for companies which were previously growing in a traditional method or an intensive method to make the change. Not impossible. We encourage them to, but fundamentally we didn't have that burden. We were always free range. You know, I sort of looked at it this way: if we had to make money by exploiting animals, then that wasn't something we wanted to do. And basically everybody feels the same in the company.
And you felt an attachment with that in the community, in your market?
Yes, it's amazing how loyal consumers have become. I mean, we didn't really necessarily expect it, but it's been a very significant development for us.
And is it just a white-collar greenie thing, you know, western suburbs hobby, or is it bigger than that?
No, it's much bigger than that. And I think that more people are moving to that way of thinking.
What do you see as the marketing and communication challenges for you in the year ahead? How's it going to get difficult?
Our biggest challenge since we started is actually keeping up supply.
Is that right?
We've always been short supplying the market, so from our perspective it's always been playing catch up on that side. So that's limited the extent to which we blast the airwaves with advertisements. We're not looking to push product from a supply side. So it's more a question of there's only a limited number of people you're prepared to work with in terms of this type of production. You know, the farmers have got to be as committed to the system as we are, and takes time to get them set up, to train them, to get us all working from the same page.
What sort of impact has the pressure that Coles and Woolworths have placed on producers over recent years had on your business?
Well, I mean, I frankly don't. I think it is just part of life. I mean, they're fighting each other in as aggressive a way as they can, and I think that's for the good of consumers. Frankly, if you're developing innovative products, if you're adding value to their businesses, then we have always found them to be quite supportive. If you're just going there with what everybody else has got and trying to sell it on the basis of price, then obviously you can expect the consequences.
And finally, Graham, how would you describe the Western Australian economy, and what do you think it's going to look like over the next 12 months or so? The biggest question of them all.
Right, well, I'm no economist, but it's quite clear we've got a two-speed or more economy. The biggest danger I see is obviously that the high dollar and the economic benefits that we're getting from the boom are also a penalty for the rest of the economy, and that government, Reserve Bank and whatever don't sufficiently take into account that boom, whatever goes up comes down, and when it does, we need other jobs for people, and we need to be sure that we've got an economy other than digging holes in the ground and sending it overseas.
Thank you, Graham. Fantastic. Pleasure. Thanks for your time.